So the MMA Guru has left me in disbelief. Great job doing the research. I got to shout out to MMA Guru. Obviously, you guys all clicked that thumbnail for a reason. Wow. Just wow. Isreal Adesanya. Man. Be sure to subscribe, by the way, but I'm going to get deep into this. So I just want to say, Isreal Adesanya has always been a quirky guy. He's always been cringy, says cringy things, has always been himself. Respect to that. Does not care what people think. Kind of a weirdo at times. You know, he had his acrylic nails at one point. You know, I don't want to be that guy who brings out the toxic masculinity, but it's just something you don't see in the fight game. You know, he's into anime, wore a dog collar at a press conference. There's questionable outfits, cringy things like I'll leave you frozen like Elsa. Just he's always been a quirky, dorky guy, and I think that's safe to say. And no judgment other than it's not something we really see in MMA a lot, so he gets called out for it, especially someone like Sean Strickland, right? He'll call him out for things like that. But there's something really weird now that was discovered, and it has to do with like a dog fetish, and it's really weird. And one thing I will say is I always believe that you do not judge a fighter by them as an individual or who they are in their personal life. I don't think it's fair when we talk about John Jones, someone who, you know, was caught cheating for with steroids, has gotten arrested, charges of domestic violence, someone you'd probably consider a bad person. When people bring that up, when we're talking about John Jones being the greatest of all time, I shut them down because I'm saying, hey, I don't care about this guy as a husband and a father. We're talking about someone as a mixed martial artist. If you want to talk someone as about someone as if they're some sort of celebrity and idol and someone kids are going to look up to or champion, that's something different. But if we're talking in the octagon, let's speak about fighting, and that's something I truly believe. So I don't think we need to judge Isreal Adesanya as a fighter, but we got to talk about this. So MMA Guru, again, shout out, great research. He finds, number one, he brings out a picture I've seen before of Isreal Adesanya where his hand is basically on his dog's genitalia. It's censored. I'm going to put that up here. Pretty crazy stuff, pretty weird. I know there's weird dog owners, weird pet owners, and Izzy's already a weird guy. I'm not going to say that was stuck in the back of my head or something I always remember, but I had seen it before. But he goes a little further and he goes on Twitter. I'm going to post a page here where Isreal Adesanya basically follows an OnlyFans girl who does dog things, meaning that she's like licking water out of bowls, wears collars, and I mean, his own sexual preferences are his own thing, but you know, at the end of the day, we're leaning towards bestiality here, right? And then actually, this is the one that got me. He's on the Breakfast Club and he's talking to Charlemagne, and I'm gonna play that clip here. And he basically, and I want you to listen closely. They ask him basically about sex before a fight, and there's common misconceptions about that, and MMA Guru touched upon it, where guys won't do it because they think they're going to retain testosterone, you're going to be better for the fight, all common myths, and it's true. And Isreal Adesanya calls it a myth, and he says, you know, I broke records, basically saying like in this last week I've broken records of sex. And then there's like a pause of laughter, and then he says, shout out to the puppy. It goes silent. And then he coughs. It was weird. And then someone asked him, is that code for something?
What about fucking? Does that affect you?
Never, dude. Nah, man. That's a myth.
Okay.
Facts. I made records this week. I'll just leave it at that. Fight week. Not just in the fight game, not just in the cage. I was making records. Shout out to the puppy.
The puppy?
Whoa, what kind of code word was it going on in the bedroom?
Shout out to her, whoever that is. At least you got a nickname, Mom.
No.
So now it's like sign after sign after sign, just like him being a corkball. It's like, it's not one big thing. It's just a lot of little things. But now we're leaning towards like, dude, you're an actual weirdo. And now it leaves me guessing, because when he came to Miami for UFC 287, which I was in attendance for, when he came out with the collar, I'll never forget, me and my friend looked at each other like, dude, this is just, he's such a freaking weirdo. Like, this is cringy. And someone asked him about the dog collar, and he said, oh, because, you know, I'm gonna be unleashed like a dog, something to that extent. And I was like, all right, he's just being weird again. But what are these signs? Is Isreal Adesanya a weirdo who likes bestiality and has like a weird dog fetish and is doing things to dogs? This is our champion. This is and going back to what I spoke of before, I could judge him now as an idol, as someone who little kids are going to look up to, and something that's kind of straight into our face. And I don't know what the comments will look like for this video, but I just felt like I had to come on here. And I'm a firm believer. As a fighter, Isreal Adesanya is debatably the best middleweight of all time. But now as a person, I don't know if I'm still a fan. This is a little much for me. And it's just, as a champion, just weird. Let me know what you think. Be sure to subscribe and